Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to today's deck profile. So I got top 16 recently at the last remote duel qualifier. So this is the one where you play and after you get your invite. But the thing is, I went X2, so I didn't make it to play in the invitational, but I still considered this deck a very strong deck that I played. I thought this was a good meta call, and I thought it's actually a sleeper deck for the format. And so I playtest this deck the entire week leading up to the qualifiers on Twitch, actually, because I wanted to prove a point that like you can actually pick up a new deck, learn it, and play it really well, even for an upcoming event. So that was kind of like what I was trying to showcase subliminally. So I play Prank-Kids. I In my week of testing, I went 21 wins, 1 draw, and then 3 losses. So I learned a lot. I learned a lot of interactions. I learned a lot from watching individuals such as Gabe Yugioh, also known as Gabe Susi. And, I playtest with some friends a couple nights before. So I felt really confident in this list. And so I just want to give a huge shout out to Gabe Susi for helping me with the deck. And also Nesh for helping playtest with me. And now I'm going to talk about like my tournament report. So round 1, I played against Virtual World. I just drew hand traps game 1 and 2, and so he just lost. Hand traps with Engine is like insane. Round 2, I played against the infamous Ryan Yu. He was playing Dinos, and so that's like an 80-20 matchup for this deck in favor of Dinos. It's a really tough matchup. And so Ryan destroyed me. I won game 1 actually through Lightning Storm, which is kind of insane. But then game 2 and 3, he just clapped me up. I just opened up too many Prank-Kids names, and so I couldn't, I needed more disruption to, beat Ryan. Because if he plays that deck correctly, if anyone plays the Dino deck correctly, it's very hard for Prank-Kids to win. Yeah, game 3, he just dwellered me, and so I was like, all right, I guess I'm out. And then round 3, which was my second loss of the tournament, which was very unfortunate. I played against Danger, Thunder, Dragon combo with Dragon cards too. So it's a pretty much dice roll all in deck. If you go first, I pretty much lost, and it was a rogue strategy. But his end board was ridiculous. It was Seal, Appaloosa, Hope Harbinger, freaking Photon Lord, IP, his board was so crazy, but he has no cards in his hand, so there was no follow up. But I didn't draw a single hand trap, so I just auto lost. And then so I had to scoop without showing my deck. And then game 2, I went first, drew a hand trap, he lost. And then game 3, I drew 0 hand traps again, so I was out of there. Oh no, I think I drew Lancia. But he was able to make Herratic Seal IP through that, and so I couldn't play through the Herratic Seal. I played through the Herratic Seal, but I couldn't play through the IP. And then he just killed me on the following turn, so I just got it was just very unfortunate. And then after that, I played the meta decks, and I beat Dragon Link. After that, I beat Hanko in the mirror. I beat what is it? Shaddoll Dragoon decks, Invoke Dragoon Shaddolls, and I beat that deck. They made Dragoon, and I outed his Dragoon, which was insane. So I feel like this deck beat pretty much most of the meta. I just lost to Dinos because Ryan was piloting. I think against average Dino player, my win rate is really high. And then against, and I didn't expect a dice roll all in deck. And you kind of knew it was a high dice roll deck because he went X4 after losing to me, so it was just very unfortunate. So I finished X2 in total, which placed me 13th. And fun fact, I played Prank-Kids but never went to time once with this deck, which is actually insane because more than half the people in there drew at least once, if not twice. So I was just so confused how people playing Dragon Link were drawing when that deck literally kills you on the following turn. So I was just like, Jesus, man, this is ridiculous. But overall, I think the tournament was really good. I really enjoyed the deck I played, and I'm going to go into the profile right now. So I played 3 Prank-Kids plays. This card is amazing, especially going second. Or when your opponent has a monster, so it's really strong for that reason. I played 3 Lamsies, 3 Fansies, 3 Dropsies, and then 2 Roxies. So the math with 14 is in 43 cards, 14 Prank-Kid way to a monster is around 88% to draw 1, and it's 50% to draw 2, and you want to draw 2 because if your normal summon gets disrupted, you want to have another one on the following turn to normal summon again. It's kind of like the logic with like if you're playing Zeus. If you get interrupted on the first normal summon, you want to have another one on the follow up to, you know, make your Zeus. In this case, you make your Butler. I would also say that the difficulty of this deck is very high. It's easy to play turn 1 boards, but it's actually very hard to navigate through hand traps. And then on top of that, it's very hard to navigate the deck, especially in the grind game post turn 2 and 3. You have to manage your resources really well. And so this deck I thought was like one of those decks that really rewarded like skillful play, and it's what drew me to the deck, to be honest. 3 Pandemonium, because you play Desires. So 3 Desires. This card was amazing. Every time, like, drawing 2 cards is just so ridiculous. Instant Fusion, every time I saw this, I won the game. And then Pranks, basically to recycle, you play 2 because of Desires. For the hand traps, I played 3 Gamma. This hand trap is really nice because it works really well with your deck when you go first, because you can end on 2 lines of plays that make this card live, which is you play under Nib by making the bird, the do, and that can tribute itself, and so you'll control no monsters. Or you make the Bow Wow Bark, where you tribute in standby phase, and they try to gamma your Bow Wow Bark, you can gamma them back. Or you just wait patiently in main phase and let them activate anything. You gamma them, and then you still have a Pandemonium on top of all that. So Gamma is really good in this deck. Excuse me. 3 Ash Blossom, very versatile hand trap. 3 Lancer, this card was MVP. Beast of Dino matchup too, which is one of the worst ones. It's like pretty good in combination with other hand traps. It's good against like Invoked. Like, it's just a very versatile hand traps. So I really like this card. It stops Call by the Grave also randomly too on your Bow Wow. If they try to call by it, stops. What else did it stop? Stopped. There was a play where my opponent tried to aerialed me on his turn, so that was kind of nice. But he like forgot that he was under Lancia. Stops Cosmics on your back row. That's why actually I played against Ryan, and this is like where good deck building comes into play. Like, Ryan was playing MST in a side deck, and it was something that I've been saying for a while now, that if your deck loses to Lancia, why are you playing Cosmic? And Ryan just played MST. You see this, like, right? Like, some of like the better deck building shine here, where he MST my Pandemonium in standby phase game 2, and I just lost. I had Lancia, but you know, because he didn't play Cosmic, he got rewarded for not doing that. So this is like one of those good examples where like good deck building comes into play. So I definitely got punished on or I didn't get punished, but he got rewarded for skillful deck building. And then lastly, 3 Nibiru. I thought this card was really good. I just wish I drew it against the Danger Thunder combo, ends on 0 cards but 6 interruptions deck, but unfortunately I didn't. So what can you do? Pank is my last card. So Pank is really good because Gamma's in the format, so if you get Gamma turn 1, you can actually summon this and pass on it. Game 2, this card just breaks so many boards, so I really like this card in the main deck. And then for the traps, 3 IDP and then 3 there can only be. So I thought these were the best traps to help equalize the playing field. And these are cards that gives you additional turns. And the more extra turns you get, the more this deck shines. Because the extra turns that you get with this deck is incredible. You Snowball plus like 5 every time a Prank Kid monster resolves. So being able to like get turns with these cards is just so insane. So that's pretty much it. 43 card in the main deck. And now I'll go into the extra deck. So the extra deck, I played 1 Access Code, 1 Unicorn, and 1 Nightmare Phoenix. So these are like the utility ones. For the Prank Kid cards, I played a total of not 1, not 2, but 3 Meow Meows. This card was insane. You basically, if your normal summons keeps getting interrupted, having 3 of this lets you grind. I played triple Do. This card is also amazing. It lets you grind as well, having 3 in your deck, especially in like the mid game. When you ran out of Meow Meows, you want to start summoning this. Bow Wow Bark. This card is also really nice. I only play 1 of it. That's all you need. It helps you recycle cards and protects your cards from getting levied. It also protects you from just like Trident and like a lot of other miscellaneous stuff. Very strong. This card also helps you out Dragoon, because there'll be a lot of times where I summon Bow Wow Bark here, and then I'll have it point to my Battle Butler, and so it'll be at like 4,000 attack, which helps me beat over Dragoon. because the field spell would make this 4,500. Which actually did. I actually made this play where I made Bow Wow Bark and Battle Ball there, and then I just attack over their Dragoon, and then they just lost because that's like their win condition for all the Dragoon players. So Roaring Roaster is my last link. This card was really good too. I actually like making this card. It also helps you out Dragoon. And yeah, overall it's a quick effect duster. Not much to say. This card is definitely a flex though, by the way. And then for the fusions for Prank-Kids, I played 1 Roxy's, 1 Washer. That's all you need. If you play correct, you shouldn't need more of these. You just recycle them if you do need more. So these two were just insane. A lot of people forgot about Weather Washer's effect. So when you declare an attack with any Prank-Kid monster while this card is on the field, your opponent can't activate effects or cards until the end of the damage step. Why that's really important is because my opponent tried to activate Alistair to buff his Mechaba, and I'm like, you can't, because this card says you can't activate anything until the end of the damage step. So I was able to beat over his Mechaba because I placed Masic's Mechaba 2000 attack, and then I made this card 2500 with the field spell. So it was 2500 attack over Mechaba, and he tried to Alistair, and I'm like, you can't do that because of this. So this card was actually insane. Also, this card, like, against your dolls, like, you can attack over like their beasts, and then they can't trigger any of those effects. So this card is actually really, really strong. And of course, like, against dinos, you make this card a lot to bring back Bow Wow and the do, just so that you can't die, and this helps you survive. And then the last card in my extra deck was Krapalike, aka Totally Awesome. This card is really nice. Basically, after you butler your opponent, you would summon 2 water and 1 wind. And so in your main phase 1, the first thing you do is you just make Toad, and then you have a negate to like kill them through Nibiru, which is like really nice. So that's pretty much it. 15 card extra deck. For the side, I played Triple Solemn Judgment. This card was really crucial for going first. So that's one of the reasons why it made sure that your Pandemonium can't get Cosmic MSC and all that good stuff. And it's just like a very good card in general. For back row, I played Triple Lightning Storm and then the 1 Duster. So basically, you need these for like the back row matchups, and that's like the main reason why I played LS and Duster. They're just pretty much for the back row matchups. Not much to say. I think these were pretty good overall. 2 tactics. So the reason why I played 2 tactics is mainly for the reason that in testing, instead of having triple tactics, we decided to have triple Solemn Judgment to main deck. To side deck, so that for going first, you never want to side more than 3 cards when you go first. So I, at least for like going first cards, so I only wanted to have just Judgment, and then Tactics was a card mainly for going second. Sometimes you would side it in going first, like against dinos and stuff, but for the most part, like I felt that this was more valuable than Tactics, because it was more solidified in going first. And this card is you're kind of like begging your opponent to like hand trap you, where this is like always live, is like the main reason. And then for the spice of the side, I think this is one of the reasons why I feel like I did so well is 3 Phantasme and 3 Dark Ruler. So the logic is that if you Phantasme your Dragon Link opponent, you can draw 4 cards, and then if you Dark Ruler them, they basically lose their entire board, right? But here's what's crazier. They also can't Titan your Prank-Kid monster because you have Phantasme on the field. So like Dark Ruler Phantasme cracks the entire Dragon Link board by itself. Just 2 cards. So that was like the logic for playing Phantasme and Dark Ruler in testing. So basically, yeah, and I wanted more cards to like beat the Dragon Link matchup, and these cards were it. Phantasme was amazing for me all weekend. It was an extra body for me, basically to make Phoenix Wiz to pop the back row. It prevents targeting, which people like forgot a lot during this tournament. And then drawing cards are just like absolutely insane. Yeah, this is actually how I beat Henko in game 2 when we played, because I drew into Nibiru off my Phantasme, and then I sealed the deal from there. So card's just like really, really strong. Yeah, I honestly really like it, because this card triggers on any special summon of a Link monster, not just when your opponent Link summon. Yeah, you Phantasma your opponent when they have Heretic Seal, Striker Dragon, and LP, and you summon this, you draw 4 cards. They're like, so it's just like really nuts. And then even against other matchups, I still sided this card in, because this card can help you see the Dark Ruler, and then you need a Dark Ruler to like out like Dragoon and stuff. So I like didn't mind like playing this. Like I was just trying to dig on top of like desires and everything. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my side deck. Overall, like I really like the deck. I think the deck is a sleeper deck of the format. It's a very hard deck to play, so I definitely caution you guys. Take the time to learn the deck. Take the time to make your misplays with the deck. Because it's a very hard deck to play. But even though it's notorious for like winning in time, I think I never went to time at all playing this deck. I only went to time once against Eldic, but that's because we were like actually grinding back and forth. Which was my only draw like this entire week of like remote duel testing. But in like the big tournament itself and like in all my other 25 matches, I never went to time with this deck. And it's because like if you just play correct, you don't have that to be your win condition, which I think is like people's misconception about this deck. You can play right, play honest, and you would just win just because you played correctly. So I had definitely highly encourage people if they want to develop a new type of like technical play to like definitely try and play this deck for sure. I think it's very rewarding and fulfilling. So give it a shot. Let me know how it goes for you guys. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.